Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. This morning I'm going to make a hot buttered rum cake. Now, it's delicious, okay? And it also is made from a mix. Now, I use the Duncan Hines Butter Golden cake mix. Now, I got these at our local buy-low that just opened up, and it was buy one, get one free. So I'm going to make one now, and I'm going to make another one on towards Christmas. But anyway, here's what you'll need. Of course, the cake mix, 1 stick of butter at room temperature, just only slightly melted, and I just put this in the microwave for like 10 seconds, and it gets, much softer that way. 3 large eggs. You'll need a couple of teaspoons of flour, just regular flour, any kind will work, and 1 cup of chopped walnuts, 1/2 cup of rum. Now, you can use the dark rum, the light rum, it really doesn't matter. The rum is actually, the alcohol part will actually just go away. It just evaporates. Alright, first thing I'm going to do right to start with, just dump those 2 teaspoons of flour into my chopped walnuts. And this is 1 cup chopped walnuts, and just get the walnuts coated. And you do this so that all the nuts don't sink to the bottom when you're baking the cake. Alright, and we're going to bake this in just a regular tube pan, or you can use a Bundt cake pan. Alright, so we're ready to get started. And I do have a little story on this that I will tell. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and crack my eggs right into the bowl. Of course, they're at room temperature also. I first had this cake back in the 1980s. I was working at a forklift dealership, and we decided we wanted a microwave. They had just come out. You got to the place where you could buy them, at furniture stores and other places. So at our little company, we had maybe, I'm going to guess and say 20 to 25 employees. And us girls, I worked as their bookkeeper. We had a payroll person and sales coordinator, and then another little girl named Dina. And Dina, you know who you are, okay? Alright, so anyway, we wanted a microwave, so we decided we would start bringing in cakes and like cinnamon rolls, donuts, or whatever, and we'd all buy one in the morning with our coffee. And so we were saving up to buy a microwave. Now, as I recall, the microwave at that point was $325. It was one of those really big ones, because when they first came out, they were huge. But we thought it would work really well in our little kitchen, and we could, we had a refrigerator there, so all we needed was a little kitchen. We could bring a plate of our own food from home, warm it up in the microwave. So we were all pretty hip on this. And so we decided to do it. And so we started bringing the stuff and selling it, and we had gotten up to maybe $125, $150 saved towards the microwave. So then our sales coordinator remembered that in the parts department there was an old battery that could be recycled. Now, forklifts have really big batteries, so we thought we could get some good money for that. So we sold that to the battery recycling people and got enough to buy the microwave. So, but in the process, our little friend, she worked in the same office with me, Dina, again, you know who you are, okay, decided to bring this hot buttered rum cake. And it was delicious. But what she had done is she had, I guess she was in a hurry, because when you work, you don't have much time, right? So she had put the sauce on it in the morning, and she doubled the sauce. So we all had our piece and everything was fine, and I was feeling like a little tipsy, And so our little receptionist, Debbie, said she was feeling a little tipsy too. So finally we realized everybody that had had a piece of the cake was a little tipsy that morning. So anyway, it quickly wore off, of course, but the cake was delicious. But I don't double the sauce like that, okay? And also you want to put the sauce on it after it's cooked so that the alcohol pretty much evaporates, but it leaves that great rum taste in it. So, and the butter, of course. All right, so that's my little story on the hot buttered rum cake. So now we're just going to put all our ingredients in at once. Got 3 large eggs, 1/2 cup of, I use Bacardi white or light rum, and then the butter, 1 stick just softened. You don't want it melted, just softened. Alright, so I'm just going to mix this around a little bit, and then we're going to dump our cake mix in. Alright, I'm going to use the mixer on this and just mix this up, then I'll dump the cake mix in, and when all of this gets ready, we'll be back. Okay, we are back. We have beaten the cake mix for about 4 minutes. Same, I think the directions on the back of the box tell you to beat it for about 4 minutes. Alright, so we're ready to add our walnuts now. And we're just going to fold those in. And we're going to bake this cake at 375 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. All right, that should be it. I'll go ahead and dump this in our tube pan. Now it works out really well to put it in a Bundt pan, but I sold my Bundt pan at a garage sale because I really didn't like it because it took so much to, you know, grease it and everything. And by the way, the pan does need to be greased and floured. Alright, let's see if I can get all this out of here. We're going to make the sauce after the cake has completed cooking. And I know some of y'all must have had this recipe before. It is quite delicious. And I'll have to say, I definitely have tried this making the cake itself, you know, all from scratch. And I'll have to tell you, it works out better using the Duncan Hines mix. And I don't know why, but it does. And you certainly can't tell it's a mix because of all the sauce and the butter in it and everything. Alright, we're ready to bake this now. And again, that's 375 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes, and it should be done. Alright, when this gets done and we're ready to make the sauce, we'll be back. Okay, our cake cooked for about 35 minutes in the oven, and that's when it was done. So 35 to 40 minutes would certainly do it. So I've let it cool for about 15 minutes in the pan, and now I'm ready to make the sauce. Now, this is 1 stick of butter in a pan, and I usually kind of clarify my butter a little bit. Just let it boil for just a minute or two. Not even a minute, maybe. I've got my burner up on high, so anyway, just letting it boil just a little bit, which is going to intensify the taste of the butter. Alright, so to this 1 stick of butter, I'm adding 3/4 of a cup of just regular sugar and 1/4 of a cup of water. Now I'm just going to let this boil for about 5 minutes. So after that's boiled for that length of time, we'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and dump my cake out now too because it's cooled enough. So we'll be right back. Okay, my sauce has been boiling for about 5 I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of light corn syrup. And I do this to make sure that glaze does not turn sugary, because sometimes it'll do that if you don't put the cornstarch in. So I'm just going to stir that all around. Go ahead and cut my burner off. All right, 1/2 cup of rum to this little sauce here. All right, now we are ready to drizzle this over the cake. Now what I'm going to do is just take a meat fork, or that's what I call this, and I'm going to poke holes in it like that, so the sauce can run down into the cake. Alright, I didn't poke that many holes in it, but we're ready to drizzle this over that cake now. So let me move up closer so that you can see. Now, I'm going to put the sauce on in 3 different times, because as you can see, the sauce is very watery. Alright, so I'm just going to spoon some on the top and let it soak in. We were at a New Year's Eve party one time, and one of the guys had made one of these cakes and brought it. And he had made it just that afternoon before the New Year's Eve party. And so he didn't have time to let it, sit and do all this soaking in that it does. So he injected it with one of those little meat injector things. Anyway, it turned out really good. I love this type of cake. Alright, so we're going to let this sit here for maybe, 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll come right back and drizzle more over it. Alright, we'll be back when this is all done. Okay, the cake is done, and I went ahead and cut a slice of it. Now it's still actually a little warm, and to me it's showing up darker on the screen than it actually is. I'm not sure why that is, but anyway, here's a piece of it. And you can see that the sauce has soaked down to about halfway. And this is after maybe an hour or so. So the longer you let it sit, the more the sauce is going to soak all the way down to the bottom of it. Alright, so there it is, hot buttered rum. There, that makes the light a little better. There. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I hope y'all will try this. It makes a great holiday cake. Alright, see y'all next time.